Hey, Eric.
Hey, Chris.
Well, we haven't decided what's going to be on the 16-bit season yet, but guess what? You can find out if you go to patreon.com/retroam and join the real net, where the people have been discussing what will be selected in the past. Not now. By the time you get there, it's already over.
That'll be the future.
But next time in the future, when we pick our next miniseries or whatever else we're going to do, you can be there at patreon.com/retroam. Hot sounds, question mark?
That's how they get you.
I recorded.
Welcome to Retrograde Amnesia, a comprehensive podcast covering classic Japanese role-playing games chapter by chapter, beat by beat. Welcome back to Season 7, Episode 31. We're covering Lunar, the Silver Star story. My name is Chris, and I am joined here in the Retrograde Amnesia studios by Eric. Hi.
Mi amo Enrique.
Hello. Nice to see you. We're also joined by the Real Net, a collective of lording lads who are watching us record this podcast live on a secret video feed at patreon.com/retroam. Please note, our last two alliterative titles for the Real Net have been male gendered. The next two will be female gendered.
Okay, I was going to call you out on leaving behind our ladies and NBs,
no,
Chris.
our ladies will be included next time, and our NBs will be included in the last two. So we're all good. Not the last two, but the next two after that.
Thank you, Mr. Sequence. We're also joined by the Fake Net, a post-production AI companion voice telephone computer who combined treasure and game arts to produce the PS2 sequel to everyone's favorite Sega CD game, Sylphie the Lost Planet.
Initializing fake net.
As an island full of monsters, Australia is kind of like a lost planet. It was a natural fit. I wish Christopher had played that.
Have I played that? Did we play that once?
We played the Sega CD version, I believe. This is Sylphie the Lost... Well, Sylphie the Lost Planet's a PS2 version, so unless you've got that on your hacked PlayStation 2, I don't think you played Sylphie the Lost Planet.
I absolutely do not have that. We are now in the Meryod Woods, correct?
But music, Dragon Cave plays.
Yeah, this is not a Dragon Cave.
No, but there's limited dungeon selection.
Yes.
These woods are dark.
Yeah, they are kind of dark. They look a little bit different than before. I do appreciate how this game has a lot of like woods and cave traversal, getting from point A to point B without too many story checkpoints in the middle.
Too much campfire horseshit.
It makes me feel like I'm on the adventure and I'm controlling the adventure. And it does a good job of, after all these grand sequences of throughout the NPC stuff.
Of might and magic.
Throughout the NPC stuff, but all these grand sequences of Magic Emperor, Galleon, reveals, Quark, all this big shit, we get some small moments between our characters to be together and have fun adventures and slightly develop our characters before this game comes crashing to its ultimate crescendo.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, because next time we go to Meryod Woods, one of the most fucked up things in this game happens.
That's true, and I appreciated that it happened right there. Like, right there was a good moment for that to happen. We'll talk about that when we get there.
The ground is sandy, like wet sand with a half-inch of water, and there's flowers underneath that water? What kind of biome is this, Chris? The cool thing now is the call level's biomes. What biome are we in right now?
Yeah,
is
biomes.
Sedona, Arizona.
What game is the best biomes? Folklore?
Returnal.
Returnal.
Didn't play enough of Returnal. Anyway, I'm getting some folklore biome vibes.
Folklore next season of Retrograde Amnesia confirmed.
I'm getting folklore biome vibes from the new video game Expedition 33.
Yeah, I would like to play that, but unfortunately I can't fucking stop playing Metaphor. Hey, you want to fight some enemies?
Well, yeah, I want to fight some enemies.
Let's talk about the Brain Licker.
Yeah, the Brain Licker is one of the first enemies that we fight here. And
floating Venus flytrap with pincer bottom parts and menacing side eyes with hat teeth mouths.
Yeah, how would you like to have your brain licked? Do you think that when a Brain Licker licks the brain that it communes with its host?
I think there's a lot of... Did you ever see Red Dragon?
No. Was that a Hannibal Lecter
Hannibal
series?
cuts off the top of Ray Liotta's head and then cuts off a piece of his brain and then feeds it to him.
Okay.
So he licked his own brain. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. I think in a roundabout way it answers my question.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, how you doing out here? Anybody
These things
else?
have pleasing colors. Gragon?
Gragon or Gragron?
Gragon? Poison toad? Purple?
Yeah, another one of those guys. And of course, the Chrono Gorgon.
Great name.
Yeah.
Did it need the Chrono or could it have just been Gorgon?
I think we've already faced a Gorgon.
This is a clock Gorgon.
Do you think... Yeah, I don't know. Maybe one of its abilities is to slow you down. That could be it.
Three-eyed land fish guy. Palette swap is something else I am forgetting. This one is silver and teal.
Mm-hmm.
There's one more enemy here.
There is?
Killer Buzz.
Oh, yeah, Killer Buzz. It's one of those big hornets, right?
Yeah, it's a bee with teal eyes, black and pink ass butt, brown head.
Mm-hmm.
There's a chest here. It is 2,000 silver times 2 for my video game.
Yes.
There's also a locked red chest. This place beats me up pretty good. It seems like there are 10,000 enemies, and I get my ass kicked thoroughly.
Yeah, I've got to the point multiple times when several of my party members were dead by the end of the battle, and I had to wake them up.
Anything else in Meryod Woods? Very short dungeon. Not a lot of story, as Chris said.
And nothing else.
World map. I head north and find a bridge town, a town made of bridges that is linking 2 peninsulas.
Is this stuff like a flotilla town? Is that what they call it?
I think a flotilla is more a collection of like houses and island freestanding raft
Boats
type
chained
things.
together and stuff?
Chained
Okay.
together. I don't know if Bridge Town is compatible with Flotilla Town. Because
Okay.
Flotilla Town, I think like Waterworld type society, right?
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Music, street corner plays. We enter to find Null talking. He identifies this place as Meryod, and he believes it to be amazing. Null also states the obvious. They built a city entirely of wooden planks suspended over the water.
Yeah, and Nash has something wonderful to say about these people here. He says, no, the amazing part is that these hicks managed to nail anything not related to them. We could have done
The word nail is very funny.
the word nail is funny, but in the context of like, I just think that, let me put it this way. I think that inbreeding jokes should be just, we don't need them.
We don't need them, but in the 90s, we needed them for sure.
You can make them, but I don't think you need to make them publicly. Let's put it that way.
So that's my question is, have you played this in the new remake yet? Did they get rid of like all the cousin fucking stuff?
We'll find out when we get there.
Okay, in the future.
I basically did the first half of Meryod in the old game, and the rest of it when we go back and when we leave in the remaster, I think.
Very well.
We'll
The
find
two
out.
worlds will combine. Power
Yes.
Man 5000 told us so. Do you ever think about which of the characters am I the most like? And do you get worried, because this is what I get worried about, that it's Nash?
Do I worry that I'm Nash?
I worry that I'm Nash. Do you worry that you're Nash?
I don't worry that I'm Nash, but I do
If you had to pick one, who would it be? And you can't say Alex because he's a fucking blank slate, Chris.
not worry that I'm Nash, but I do feel shame that I used to be Nash.
You used to be Nash. There you go. Honestly, I would assign you to Lake.
I don't know which of the characters, specifically in the party, I'm probably the most like Mia.
Oh, that sucks.
Or maybe Null.
Nash and Null, the two worst. That's what we're podcast hosts, Chris.
Yeah. Null would probably be the most likely to start a podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
Null and Nash.
Kyle gets us back on track. Regardless, let's look for the Magic Guild test giver who's in this town. As our boy said, Meryod is
By the way,
Hmm?
he said Magic Guild, not Thieves Guild. You said Magic Guild. The game says Magic Guild, but he meant Thieves Guild.
Wow, so the game actually does say Magic Guild?
Yes.
It's one of those things where I would like to see that in both versions. As our boy said, Meryod is a dock town. A swirling blue water transparency effect flows south across the screen, below the brown planks of wood that form the walkable land. Houses and domiciles are built onto some larger wooden planks. There are some visible resistance to the water passing by the wooden support planks. NPCs are everywhere. In Silver Star Harmony, Meryod is less a series of wooden planks and more a bunch of floating dock houses connected by wooden pathways. Some may call it a flotilla.
Oh, I called it a flotilla earlier, by the way.
Chris is some.
I am some.
One real son of a bitch.
Now, all these people have like the stereotypical hick accent, right?
Right.
Right.
You're right.
Okay, question. Am I allowed to do it?
You are from Kentucky.
That was going to be my point. I'm from Kentucky, but I'm not necessarily from the part that is generally like marginalized.
Yeah, but check this out. We grew up, like a mile and a half away from each other?
Roughly, yes.
You have a slightly more southern accent than I do, which I attribute to spending 4 years of your life in central Kentucky. Is that a fair assessment?
I think it's because my dad is from the southern portion of Louisville where more people have thicker
Yeah,
accents.
but my dad's from Louisiana, so how does any of that shit work?
He grew up around robots.
Okay, that's it. Yeah, no, I've definitely played, what's that fucking, goddamn it. There's a adventure game set in never mind.
I know what you're thinking about. Norco.
That's it.
If I were speaking with somebody from Boston, they would think I would have
for
an
sure.
accent, and I would be like, "You fucking sound weird," and they would tell me I sound weird.
And they would tell you to do a wicked pisser or whatever.
Chowder.
Yeah.
Go have some chowder.
Is wicked pisser good? Never mind. I don't know what it means. I've always wondered what the fuck it means. I never
Fake
Googled
net,
it.
what's wicked pisser mean?
Initializing FakeNet.
Wicked pisser is a New England slang term, particularly common in Boston, meaning really awesome or super good. Unfortunately, it has nothing to do with how far one can blast piss.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Pistifer.
I would love to go have a wicked pisser communion with you, Chris.
Communion thing's going to go on too long. Hopefully by the time next time we record, we all forgotten this bit.
Forgot the bit? Yeah, no way. Talk to some guys.
Yeah, first guy says, welcome to Meryod. We're all family here. That's an inbred joke.
Weir is spelled W-E-E-R.
Yeah, let's just make the assumption that almost every word
Is spelled fucked up.
Is all fucked up. So I thought that I'd give you a neighborly warning about that bridge over yonder. You see, it's rotted, so be careful there. Mia?
She wonders if it's safe to cross, and I wonder how my spell check is going to survive typing all of this.
Yeah, don't type it. Record it.
Too late. Also, oh my God, are they all going to talk like this? Is this really going to happen?
Yes.
Nash tells Mia not to worry, he will protect her. Kyle warns, careful Nash, you're writing checks your puny muscles can't cash.
I like that one. I just think that we should bring back the word puny.
Puny?
Puny.
Yeah, in Mr. Puniverse.
Yeah, I mean, we can still use the word, but I don't hear it as much as I used to.
Jessica has the worst idea so far. Well, we should at least give it a shot. Let's just run across.
Yeah.
He continues, if you want to go to the other side of the bridge, here is the only way. My next note is capital letters, Jesus fuck.
Yeah. Did you walk across the bridge right now?
I did, but I reloaded my game to go talk to everybody I could pre-bridge crash.
I did not have the foresight, so let me...
Tell you what, we'll just do bridge crash and I'll tell you if it's different when we get there.
Yeah, it's probably a better idea. I was going to do the opposite.
Some spaces here. On with the story, which requires us trying to leave town. As we walk across the bridge, it creaks and it cracks.
Yes.
Kyle wonders what those strange sounds were, specifically the creaks and the cracks. A worried Jessica believes the bridge just moved. It cracks again, and an equally worried Mia doesn't believe this was a good idea, and she suggests we turn back. Nash cries that we don't have time for this before he realizes he's falling. The bridge collapses. People scream. And our dudes float down the river as it fades to black.
I like how Null doesn't fall in the water.
No, he's got wings, man.
Yeah.
In Silver Star Harmony, only Jessica falls in the water first. Kyle dives in to save her.
Oh.
The rest of the gang then realize it's going to collapse, and they fall in too. On Sega CD, everybody but Null falls in. Null then says, so what if the bridge doesn't work? I don't really care. Then he flies away while everybody else drifts downstream. But back on PS1 or whatever Chris is playing, it comes back with just Alex. Null flies in and asks Alex if he's okay. And he says, man, I'm soaked. Why'd you have to make such a big splash? Alex talks, sorry about that, Null. I couldn't help it. Everyone all right? Null confesses he doesn't know, but he points to the motherfucker over by the armor shop, which is Nash. And he says that's a start. I guess we go collect dudes like we're in Final Fantasy VI.
Or Suikoden. 108 of them.
All of them.
Yep. First guy that we meet on our travel says, you fell in the river? I'm a guessing you did because you're all wetter than a lovesick possum in heat. Please don't play any sound effects for that. All I got to say, you're lucky that your river's been so calm lately or you'd have been drowned. Null says, hey, Gramps, you'd have warned us not to try and cross it. We would have fallen in. What a strange-looking flying cat. Good thing you got wings. I bet you wouldn't like the water, he says, in some facsimile of that accent. Then I spoke with Nash in order to reacquire Nash.
Yeah.
Nash says, hey, Alex, nice of you to drop by and pick up the pieces. Wait, have you heard that phrase before? Like, pick up the pieces, like in terms of like collecting motherfuckers.
Without you, it's not as much fun to pick up the pieces. 9 Inch Nails.
I always thought that meant like, we got to go pick up all our drunk friends.
Pick up the pieces?
Pick up I've heard people say this before.
I've never heard that. That must be a Central Kentucky thing, Chris.
I did hear it in Central Kentucky.
There you go. There it is.
The person who I can remember saying it is from Eastern Kentucky.
So this is authentically Hick-like.
We did it.
Wow. Finally.
Null says, well, at least we were here to do it for you, whiner. Nash joins the party. Null says, look over there. Jess is by that house. Let's go get her. On my way to acquire Jessica, I ran into a young child boy with blonde hair who says, I wonder when this crazy face in the water is going to stop staring at me. Null says, that's your face in the water.
Before you fell, he would say, hey, looky here. There's some kooky guy staring out of the water at me.
Oh, okay. So he's got an arc.
Yeah.
He says, what? You're done joshing me. Joshing, good phrase.
Yeah, I like Josh when it means joke.
My face is right here in front of you, you silly cat. Is this another inbred thing?
I cannot speak.
The kid's dumb.
You said the kid's stupid.
The kid's dumb.
He's stupid.
Then I made my way to Jessica. She says, Alex, I'm so glad you finally came. This place is crawling with creeps trying to pick up on me. Null says, Alex, duty calls. I think you should punch their lights out. Jessica appreciates the sentiment, but says, let's get out of here. Null thinks she's right. This place is giving me the willies.
Oh, gosh.
Jessica then wonders where Kyle is. She bets that 2 timing womanizers at the pub. Let's go. Jessica joins the party. Null notices Mia over there getting hit on by a guy.
Another one. He says, hey guys, you seem to have some purty escorts there. How about you introduce me?
Okay, so he was hitting on us before.
Yeah. Like, I don't think Mia's capable of dealing with that very well. Jessica would beat the fuck out of somebody, but Mia doesn't really know.
En route to acquire Mia, I run into a green hair guy and he says, I was just trying to be nice there, little lady. No need to haul off and hit me like that. Jessica says, you deserved it, you biologically challenged pervert. Which is a fucked up thing to say to somebody. Every character in this thing has a pre-bridge and a post-bridge arc.
Yes.
Okay. Spoke with him again, and he goes, ow, ow, ow. I ain't never been hit by an Indian. Even my pa. I got sensitive skin. Jessica says, I'll fix that slap mark quick. Slap mark, one word. You wear it like a scarlet letter. L, loser.
Cool.
Pretty good, I guess.
Literary references.
I think so. Non-scroll. We haven't scrolls in a while. Pigtail girl?
Yeah, little girl. In the original, before you fell, she'd say, when you're running real fast and you're dropping liquid gas, diarrhea. Diarrhea. Ha ha ha. My ma said this bridge is done fixing to fall down. When I see her running across it, I done think of that funny song.
Oh, is that a Scrotal diarrhea song?
Yeah, the diarrhea song.
Check this out.
49.
Jesus Christ. Do we have to explain diarrhea? Is that like evidence of child? Was that ever in like a movie? Do you want to explain what, like, there's fucking, if you're driving in a Chevy and you feel something heavy, diarrhea. Like there were like 107 of these that you sang for like diarrhea songs at recess.
Yeah, I don't know where they came from, but I think the only explanation that I have for like their proliferation are military families.
That's probably an excellent, yeah. Military families were the true meme lords of like pre-internet society.
Yeah, I mean, not limited to military families,
sure,
but like, you know, that's probably the
most
biggest
frequently
group of
moved around.
Yeah,
nomads. Fucking shit.
Anyway, after the bridge incident, she says, yeehaw, you guys got yourself soaked.
Diarrhea.
Nelson's very observant, kid. Straw hat guy?
Actual hick, yellow hat, lower middle left.
Yeah.
Originally, he would say, I heard this galleon fellow is looking for Althena. That's why he's having Zenobia steal all the girls that sing good. In Gallon, he calls him Gallon, Gallon.
Yeah.
It's very funny to me.
Mm-hmm.
You see, it's funny because this is the only guy in this game so far who knows what's going on.
Yes, that's a good point. In the entire Meryod zone.
Null thinks this sounds logical, and he says, that fella over yonder looks to be a mite suspicious. I don't have no proof, but he's just giving me the willies. So there's willies again?
Love the willies. Post
bridge fall, what's he say?
Post bridge fall, he says, I done heard runners that there was crooks from Riza casing this place. I think that fella over the bar might have been one of them. Probably talking about Kyle. Then I went to rescue Mia, and I spoke with the man hitting on her, and he says, hey there, sweet thing, you sure are a purty girl. Girl, Gerl.
That's right.
How about we go out sometime real soon?
Yeah.
Nash says, almost the same thing that Jessica said to the other guy. Get away from her, you genetically deficient leech.
Yikes.
Another inbred joke.
Yikes.
Great. Don't you know who this is? Mia is the next governess of the Magic Guild.
Governess? That's fine, I guess.
I think we've heard that before, yeah. Who died and made you God? I think this is a little matter between me and her. Then we go speak with Mia, and she says, Alex, help me. This slob is picking on me.
I wish we would just push him off the bridge into the water.
Get into
Can we
a battle
do that?
with him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Null says that he'll teach these pigs a thing or two. Mia says, oh, Null, it's over now. Let them be. We need to get going. Nash says, if we let this guy off the hook, he'll try this again with someone else. Mia just drops dots. Null says, never mind. Well, let's go. Is that supposed to be a joke that, like, Nash is going to do that to Mia?
To drop her drawers?
Just to fucking hit on her.
Oh, yeah. It's an exclusive right reserved to him doing his thing.
Now we're on our way to the bar, because we've got to get more drunk Kyle development before he makes his heroic turn in the next 7 minutes of the video game. But first, we got to speak with the old man outside the bar, and he says, hey there.
Before you would fall, he says, I've hired a dancey like the other bars, but I don't make no money. I wonder why this is.
Great. Come in, kick your heels up, and relax. If you want some good song and brew, this is the place for it. Nash says we're looking for someone. We go inside.
Let's travel back in time, Chris, and imagine we went into the bar before we fell in the river.
Let's do it. This podcast is very organized tonight.
2 picnic tables, 2 hexagon tables, stacks of empty bottles, interesting shit on the back wall. Looks like a bunch of little wooden plaques. Also, there's one goddamn hole in the floor, and you can see water flowing under it. The yellow vest guy, green hair, back at the bar. He says, "What? Are you the inspectors at the Thieves Guild? I don't get it. I'm just a drunk person." Kyle thinks it's hard to believe, but this guy might really be an inspector. The Brett-like, on at the other table, he says, "That there dancer is easy on the eyes, but she can't sing or dance worth beans."
Beans.
Beans.
Worth beans is pretty good, I think.
I love beans.
Gray-haired dancer at the bar. "Woo, I've been a-singing and singing. I need rest. Come back later." Finally, the bartender says, "They say the girls that sing real purty are the ones Zenobia is going for." And that's all the NPCs pre-fall for the bar. Now back to the afterfall. Back to the Kyle Location Center.
Yes, Kyle is in here, and he is being a drunk guy, although he has already been counted as a drunk guy, so he will not be counted again, I don't think.
No,
right?
even if he gets re-drunk, he's still been a drunk guy.
Okay, good. He says, "Oh, hit. You finally made it. That's the test giver there. This is my party, and I invited him over for a little brew belching."
Yeah.
We started talking about the guild, and it was a cinch. "Hey, come on over here."
Our party then gets in line, and because of the way the screen is arranged, it looks like Nash and Mia are trying to leave.
Yes. I spoke with the guy on the other side of the Kyle table. He's just, this guy says, "Gulp, gulp, snoring. I can't drink more munya.
Is this even English at this point?
No, I don't think we're even close, but he is a drunk guy.
Oh, he's drunk.
I'm very drunk indeed.
Oh, God. That brings drunk guys up to number 8. Then we speak with Kyle. He says, "Hey, Alex, what took you so long? You know, that was pretty dumb to try to cross the bridge."
His face also returns to normal at this point.
Yeah, he can he instantly sober up?
Yeah, Kyle has like an instant sober magical ability. It's part of releasing the weasel.
He says, "You know, that was pretty dumb to try to cross that rotted bridge." Jessica says, "Well, Mr. Safety."
Damn, Mr. Safety.
Damn.
Oh, shit.
She hit me with the Mr. Safety. I can't believe this shit. You know, speaking of not being able to believe this shit.
Or Mr. Safety.
Or Mr. Safety.
Or Mr. Safety. I don't think that we've had very many instances of this in this game where somebody didn't believe that shit.
So everything's at face value. You just take it.
Yeah, I think that's just part of the charm of the game, I guess. "I think that you fell in the drink, too. What's your excuse?"
Kyle replies with a speech.
I was just trying to not make waves. Alex is supposed to be the leader here. "Hey, kiddies. I heard some important stuff while I was waiting for you. I heard about a tower south of here called Damon's Spire. There's supposed to be some kind of jewel in this thing worth a lot of dough. If you give it to the guild chief in Reza, he's supposed to give you a membership."
Oh, good. Another quest for a jewel. Mia asks.
Yeah, I love jewel quest. She says, "Isn't that where the Keeper of Knowledge is supposed to reside?"
Yeah, Damon.
What is he, the database?
We've talked about Damon and the Tower of Knowledge back in the Thieves Guild.
So they just have there's a tower where the guy keeps the knowledge. It's a library.
Yeah, it's a library. It's a library away from Vane. You keep your books in 2 separate locations.
In case one of them gets burned down during the Dark Ages.
Yeah.
Kyle doesn't know about that, but says that she's probably right. We should check it out. Our party once again reforms, but just before it fully reforms, Kyle says, "I almost forgot. In order to enter Damon's Spire, you have to know the secret words. I heard they are written in the notebook that this guy lent me."
Got old notebook.
Got the notebook. Old notebook. Pardon me.
Well, I talked to this singer who's back here, and she says it's a La 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 song that we hear everywhere else, but it sounds worse. Kyle laughs and says it brings back memories. Jessica, in front of the girl, says, "Kyle, you have got to be kidding. That was bad." The singer replies, "Oh, I done knew you were a hunky buff muffin when I first saw you. Maybe we can get together later and I'll give you a private performance."
A hunky buff muffin?
Hunky buff dash muffin.
Oh, that's good. I like it.
Hunky buff bud muffin. Kyle laughs and tells her maybe some other time. Honey lips.
Ooh, honey lips.
On Seki CD, Nall greets Kyle with a "Man alive, you smell like booze," which made me laugh. Talk to the bartender. "Hey, y'all are wetter than a pig trough at sloppin time. Why don't you all line up and have yourself a little drink to warm you up?" Jessica gets upset, says we don't have time for sloppin time. The bartender replies, "Say there, little lady, why not loosen up a little? It's just one little drink." Jessica now thinks it's okay if he promises it's just one.
No time for slopping time.
When I try to leave, Jessica asks Kyle if he's going to pay the bar tab.
Yeah.
Kyle looks worried and tells Jessica, "Geez, don't say it so loud. We'll let that wasted guy pick up the tab. Let's get out of here." Jessica wonders what she's ever going to do with Kyle. Okay, so this thing goes much differently in Silver Star Harmony. Do you want to hear all that? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I want to hear
It's wonderful.
I was about to say I want to hear all about it, but I just want to hear about it.
You're about it?
I'm about it.
Because you run it.
Yes.
In Silver Star Harmony, none of that shit at the bar happens.
Really?
You enter one of the NPC houses and find Kyle unconscious in bed. Remember, it had Kyle diving in to save Jessica in a heroic gesture?
That's right.
Jessica is watching over Kyle in bed. She says Kyle jumped in the water to save her, even though he didn't know how to swim. She says, why do you always have something to prove? When if you drown, it won't amount to anything. Why don't you ever think about the consequences of your own actions? Come on, Kyle, please open your eyes. Sniff, sniff. Suddenly, Kyle comes to life. He leaps out of bed, ready to fight, ready to kick the face of whoever's making Jessica cry. And Jessica waves hello. And a suspicious Kyle asks her if she's been crying or something. Jessica denies crying. She says, the heck I was. Kyle concludes he must have been seeing a dream from his childhood. Jessica is now mad that was one of his dreams, and she calls Kyle an overgrown buffoon. Does she mean baboon? I don't know.
Buffoon, baboon, who can say?
Jessica then approaches Kyle and starts punching him in the chest like door-knocking hands beating. I can't believe they made a custom animation for this. Kyle asks Jessica why she had to be like this, and she tells him in addition to being Mel's daughter, she was born in the waters of Meribia's ocean.
Really?
Jessica then brags that she can outswim a fish. Yeah, was she like one of those water birth things, you think?
That's new lore. No, I think that she was born on like a ship or something, right?
Yeah, probably. That is new lore. She goes on to call Kyle the biggest dummy to ever walk the planet.
Yeah.
This makes Kyle angry. He says, who are you calling a dummy, you friggin' Shrew?
With Shrew.
I should have left you to the sharks. Shrews I was introduced when I was at a youth because my neighbor's cat would present fucked up ones to us.
Oh, good.
Every day. New Shrew. One taste of you would have given them the runs anyway. The runs means turds.
I love turds.
Liquid, usually.
Yeah.
They fight more. Mia and I'll make fun of them. End of scene. Also, I wrote also 3 times. It must be important. Also, we find Nash at the bar. The inspector of the Thieves Guild gives him the Thieves' Crest, but the NPC thinks Nash is an asshole, so he won't tell Nash how to get it. Apparently, all Nash had to do was get this guy to say the words, I lost, and then the type of game or whatever doesn't matter. Kyle steps up and challenges the guy to a drinking contest, which Kyle wins. The inspector tells Kyle that the real test is to retrieve the treasure from Damon's Spire. To us thieves, it's the most valuable thing there is.
Wow.
End of PSP scene.
Cool.
So they rewrote that whole thing for additional Jessica lore and Kyle dunderheadedness.
I don't know if we needed it.
No, like a lot of the things in Harmony, which is soon to be, I think Harmony is bound to be lost to time, by the way.
In the trash?
Yeah.
The
like,
trash of time?
With the remaster coming out and
Yeah.
yet another new, like, 90 spin on a localization that already existed, like Harmony is, like, it's already hard to find on fucking YouTube.
Yeah.
Well.
Preservation.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go do some buildings?
Yeah, I love buildings.
Okay.
This will be easier.
Well, on my way to a building, I found a granny that I hadn't spoke with.
If you talked to her before you fell on the bridge.
Yeah.
She said, I thought I'd give you a neighborly warning about the bridge over yonder. You see it's rotted, so be careful.
Oh. Before yonder bridge was built, there was just 2 towns on each side of the river. She also tells us that one of the towns was called Mur, and the other one was called Yod.
Yod.
So there you go. When the 2 sides of our family and town was stuck together, it came Meryod. Our family legend says that a dragon master... Do you know how dragon master is spelled here?
M-A-S-T-A?
No, it's all one word. D-R-A-G-G-I-N-M-A-S-T-U-H.
T-U-H.
Yes, dragon master stopped the river. When he stopped the river, it let us build yonder bridge.
Houses. You pick. I'll figure it out.
Item shop?
Let's go to the item shop. I didn't go to the item shop.
I went to the item shop. Anywho, I spoke with a lady inside the item shop that says she's heard tales from the locals here that technology for an airship has been discovered. No, she's speaking normally, by the way. She's certain that technology for the airship didn't originate in this hick corner.
So if you talk to her before you fall in, she says, these days I've been in my bit discouraged. You see, I've been living here to study this clan that started Meryod. It's part of my anthropology studies, but now that the land is literally crawling with monsters, I can't get away from this town to take a break. So this lady speaks normal because she's visiting, and she's living in the item shop, I think. There's also 2 beds in here, so it could also be like some kind of inn of some kind.
Yeah, lots of knickknacks on the shelves, daggers, books, eggplants or something. Can't tell. Crystal balls, coins.
1 frame and 1 large knife.
Yeah, item vendor is just an item vendor. Normal stuff.
Yeah.
Angel tier. Actually, you can buy a wrath ring here, which increases your attack power.
It's a good ring. I wore that in the end game. Residential house, bottom, center, left. 2 beds, with a pink comforter, 2 nice rugs overlapping each other, 1 pink and 1 green, 2 holes in the floor. They are impoverished in their water city. There's an old man with a green coat and gray hair. He says, "Hello there, son. I'm the best carpenter in the village. Did you know it? My great-grandpappy built that there bridge over yonder." Purple hair. Later refuses to turn around when I talk to her, so I can't look at her face. She says, "My little one went to the festival and fell head over heels for a singer named Lily. I don't know what I'm going to do if he marries outside of our happy little town." Jessica says a line that should belong to Nash, and she replies, "Have normal children?" My little one...
Jessica has made at least one insensitive comment.
Okay, so
well,
she is
so
also
far.
capable of being holier than thou.
Yes.
She continues, "My little one says even though Lily's a little one, she sang real purty at the festival." Little boy, blue hair. "Hey there. You off in town, Reza? That girl is the purtiest thing I ever did see, and she even can sing like an angel."
WP points out in the item shelf there's a crook on the shelf.
Okay, yeah. Crook sighting number 3.
Yes.
Where'd you go next?
Armor shop?
Hell yeah. 2 suits of armor on display, and I briefly believe that I'm in Vagrant Story.
Yeah, there's an adventure man in here, and he says, "I have to seriously consider the pros and cons of each type of armor here. If I buy the wrong one, it could be a fatal mistake."
Before you fell, I'd say the one on the right looks like it's nice because it has horns. The one on the left has a shield.
It's actually true based on what is standing here. Null says, "Fatal, are you going to challenge the Magic Emperor?" He says, "No. My wife found out I was having an affair and I have to go back and apologize."
God damn it.
Kyle says, "Boy, I feel for you.
Yeah, Kyle's been down that road.
A woman's scorn can be more dangerous than the Magic Emperor, for sure."
Would you buy anything?
The guy also says, "The Magic Emperor is far less dangerous than my wife."
That's right. Nothing's more dangerous than your old lady. Am I right, Chris?
That's right.
Isn't being married a pain in the ass?
Ladies, wow.
Don't I always hate my bitch wife? I really think that was the premise for at least half of 90s sitcoms, right?
Oh, I mean, yeah. Oh, yes.
Like it isn't being married a pain in the ass?
Married with children. I mean, come on.
I didn't understand that. Peg Bundy was hot. Al was fucking up.
Al was, that's the point.
Yeah, that is the point.
Al needed therapy and medication. The armor shop guy, who for some reason has a beret on and is old, says, "Hey there, traveler. If you head east from here, the monsters might get strong."
That's a warning about the hot springs.
The hot ladies place. "I suggest you buy better weapons to fight them, so then what can I do for you?"
There's also no weapon shop here accessible, by the way.
Not yet. Steel armor is stainless and shiny. Steel shield deflects darn damage.
Love the alliteration.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
Did you read the white bracelet for Nash?
Yeah, it makes me uncomfortable.
What's it say, Chris?
It says, "White is all right."
My note is 6 question marks.
I mean, working designs is me pretty much because I wrote or edited every single game we did.
Just putting that out there.
Just putting that out there.
Yeah.
Anything else in here?
Jade hairpin for me and Jessica. I bought that. It's for ladies only.
Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't it be? Steel helmet absorbs noggin knocks. Good.
Bottom left residential house. Blue hair emo guy. My old lady bought some dang fool magic mirror on Black Rose Street. That done thing has some kind of way of making ugly things look more pretty. Darn freaky if you ask me. Oh, to my old lady, she could have anything she wanted for her birthday last week. She asked for the magic mirror from Black Rose Street, and now she's obsessed with it.
Yeah.
Did you speak to the lady in front of the mirror?
I did not.
She says, if my eyes were a bit... Just bear with me, please.
I will.
If in my eyes were a mite bigger, and my nose was a little higher, and my mouth was a mite smaller, I'd look just like the goddess Althena.
That's probably true.
No, goddammit, replies, well, that's a mouthful coming from a bug-eyed, triple-lipped, snout-nosed... Forget it. But she continues, you know, I've been reading them self-helping books that say beauty comes from inside. If I'd imagine myself to be looking like the goddess... I think really can look like that. I tried to use the mirror for myself, and I cannot.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
That is all I do before I leave town.
Forever.
No, I come back here. The saga of the magic mirror is far from over. There are at least 3 more instances of this we'll discover later on in Retrograde Amnesia, Chris. So we have to go back to... Where the fuck we have to go to Damon's Spire. That's our next actual quest.
Yes, and I appreciate we having to go one direction on the world map and then fucking go the other way. I'm adventuring right now.
Should we have tried to go to Damon's Spire before that? Like, what would have happened? Did we have to go to Meryod?
We had the old notebook with the code.
That's right, the notebook. God damn it. Meryod Woods, music, of course, Dragon Cave plays. It's a dead man's party. I try and run too many times and it doesn't work, and I don't want to fight, and I die for the first time in this game. Play that death music.
Oh, I hate death.
Next round, I have to fight all this shit. Can you heal? Was there a place to sleep in Meryod? Or did you get healed when you fell in the water?
There is an Althena statue on the way out.
Okay, all right. Well, any notes before you reach the exit of the woods, Chris?
At this point in the game, I caught up to where my playthrough was in the remaster. It took me 4 hours and 12 minutes.
Nice.
Using the 3x battle speed and, of course, the reduced or original difficulty.
So there's no... When you play the remaster, there's no difficulty option. It just has the original difficulty by default?
Yes.
Okay.
I think it might have been cool to include the Working Designs difficulty increases just for posterity, but the game it works better this way, obviously.
Yeah.
The battle speed increases are tremendous. I think the most significant update is the removal of character-specific inventories.
Oh, yeah. That's
can,
such a pain in the ass toward the end game when you start accumulating too much stuff.
Yes, everybody now has direct access to Null's sack at all, like whenever you want. So
direct access for direct action.
Yes, and you can just very simply just press equip with, when you buy something, equip, and it puts it on, and it dumps the other thing into Null's.
You don't have to look at a character stand up in the inventory screen to see if the item can be equipped by them?
No, it's so fucking good. I love it. And there are also a couple of dialogue changes, as we noted before in the place in Illic. I think the most significant, like, major story one that I noticed along the way is, like, during the Magic Emperor Galleon scene, instead of saying, send out the clowns, or whatever.
Send out the clowns?
Or send in the clowns, excuse me.
You.
Send
yeah,
in the
Jesus,
clowns. Sorry,
dude.
I am the clowns, whatever, I'm a clown.
Be clowned yourself.
Fuck me.
You're right.
He says something about a curtain call instead of that in the anime cutscene.
Did I already have the thought that he said that in the PSP version?
It's possible. And also, you remember the very awkward thing during the anime when he goes, no, Galleon, yes, when he's like absorbing the...
Quark?
No, Galleon says it himself, because when Luna and Alex are taken aback by the fact that that Galleon's doing them, like, Galleon! And he's like, no, yes, Galleon, no, yes, Galleon, no.
No, I have no memory of that, and I cut that audio.
Fucking, well, I'm going to play it here.
Initializing fake net.
Christopher seems to have forgotten to do this. Don't worry, I got you. Because I love you.
Magic Emperor?
Galleon, no!
No. Galleon, yes!
Now appears as this, in Lunar Remastered.
Magic Emperor?
Galleon, no!
Weird response is just replaced with laughter. Hey, what the hell? Here's more of the preceding audio where send in the clowns was replaced with a reference to a curtain call.
Oh, then the time has finally come. My little act has reached its curtain call. But please, hold your applause.
They just completely cut that line out, and it is just sound effects during the capturing of Quark, which is
probably good.
It's much better.
Yeah.
It feels like it was added. So those are some of the significant things that I added. They removed Tootsie Pop. How long does it take to eat the fucking Tootsie Pop or whatever? Remember that guy?
Right, on the transmission spring.
Yeah, now he just says, why does vein float in the air?
Yeah.
And a few things like that.
That's nice.
So anyway, we'll be able to point out all the things in the future due to the timing of when this podcast was.
When Chris says all the things, he means most of the things, folks.
The things that we notice along the way.
Music, Dragon Cave plays. We're in here. Any notes before you get to the end of
I got 3x battle speed. I'm fucking blazing, dog.
We reach the exit. Music, Sadness plays, and Mel's here.
Yeah, he's
Stoned Mel.
My stoned father has retreated to the forest.
My note is, what in the fuck?
Yeah, I think the answer to your question is that Kyle needs some character development. He needs to have a little bit of a heroic
I
turn.
don't know what you're talking about. He just jumped in the river to save Jessica.
It's true, in the PSP he did. But in the Silver Star Story Complete version, he needs something, right?
This is upsetting for Jessica, obviously, who cries, "What the? Daddy, what are you doing out here?" The gang approaches the Stone Mel, and then it talks with a Silver Mel portrait. He says, "Jessica, my dear Jessica, please don't leave me here. It's so cold, so lonely." A strange sound effect plays. And Kyle yells for Jessica to look out. The whole party except Jessica then turns to stone. Jessica can't believe this shit. She says, what's happening? What have you done to them? Help me, Althena. Give me the power to break this spell. But it doesn't work. Jessica says, no, not again. My father, my friends, and Kyle. I've lost everyone I've ever cared about.
You fucked this up.
I did or Jessica did?
No, Jessica did.
Jessica,
you're
she's
doing great.
Fucking this up. Stone Mel says, come to me, Jessica. Join me. Join your friends. You will live forever, and you will never be alone. Compelling pitch, Chris. I'm in. If someone tells me that, I'm like, yeah, sign me up. Get me in there, Satan.
Yeah. Get me in there, Satan.
Jessica accepts. She says, yes. But then Kyle's statue moves. He makes the powering up sound effect and hulks out of it. He tells Jessica, Mel would never ask his daughter to join him in death, you monster. I don't know what the hell you are, but I'm going to crack through that stone shell. Come and get it.
I wonder if they added some spriting or some animation here when Kyle busts out, because his arms actually do go out. And the sprites don't have a whole lot of animation in this game, but like in this very scene, Jessica has like a praying thing, and Kyle has an arm-busting thing, which is like...
Arm buster.
We must point this out, since this game doesn't do it a lot. So.
And you're talking about the remake, right?
Yeah, but I think all the spriting is exactly the same.
Okay. In Harmony, crack through stone shell has been changed to sever you limb from limb, bring it on hag, which kind of gives away who's doing this.
Oh, yeah, good point.
Music, Stand and Fight plays, and we're 1v1ing Plaster Mel with Kyle, and what the fuck, dude? I don't have shit to heal him, and his HP is pretty low.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
On PSP, it's called Idle Mel.
Idle Mel?
Idle Mel.
Yeah.
Idle?
IDOL.
Yes,
yeah.
no, a Plaster Mill is way better.
Yeah, Plaster Mel's all right.
So what'd you hit him with?
5 power slashes.
Oh, you didn't release Weasel? You didn't release the Weasel?
No, I think power slash was lower MP count, and I'm kind of hurting at the
Do we
moment.
want to talk about the release Weasel lore right now while we're on Kyle? Nervous from the Real Net points out the release Weasel thing and says, so this is obviously Victor doing a penis joke, but I'm now thinking in retrospect the skill's name must have had something to do with Kame Itachi. Kame Itachi is a wind yokai, a swirling trio of ghost weasels who trip, cut, and heal people while walking.
That's right. And the you can trip and cut someone, like play nefarious pranks, but also you have some medical ability.
Yes, you can heal them. I love when weasels can heal me.
I would love to be healed by a weasel. I want nothing more than a fucking varmint to cure me of fucking an ailment.
Nervous goes on to say, if you ever get a twinge in your leg, stumble, and then inspect your leg to see that nothing's wrong, it's said that the Kame Itachi did it.
Whenever I trail run, I inevitably Superman down some part after I trip on my own feet.
Yeah.
So from now on, I'll just scream release weasel.
Of course. And I am happy to report that the release Weasel has been retained for the remaster.
The weasel will survive and thrive.
Yes, of course. Why wouldn't it?
Did you win this battle, Chris?
I winned this battle just by doing basically the same thing that you did. Although I did release the Weasel once just because I have to.
Release weasel. After the battle music, sadness resumes and Plaster Mel disappears. Royce's dialogue box appears, and she curses us. Then she beams in. Kyle tells her, you've gone way too far this time, you shapely hag. Royce confesses, I made the mistake of underestimating you, and I shan't do that again. How was I to know you could shatter my magic with a primal scream? In Harmony, primal scream is replaced with your spirit alone. Kyle then boasts of his oral sex power. Wait until you see what I can do with my tongue. In Harmony, of course...
Oh, that's not what he says in the remaster, Eric.
In Harmony, he says, the power of the human heart.
In the remaster, he says, wait until it's my turn on karaoke night.
See? There we go. So we've got what I can do with my tongue, the power of the human heart, karaoke night. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit of Kyle.
Should we take communion now?
Royce considers it tempting, but perhaps later. Does she say that to everything?
I think, yeah, it seems like she does.
Because she still says on PSP, she still says it's tempting. So it's still tempting without the innuendo. It makes no fucking sense. They left her reply the same, but...
I think the reason for her having to leave right now is because that she is the robot master of this zone. Do you know what I mean by robot master?
Well, yeah, but there's no robot master of the other zones, right?
Yeah, Thacia is the robot zone master of the next one, right? And then...
You didn't... Spoilers, you never fight Thacia.
I know, but she's there.
Well, she's... yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Well, I like where you're going, but...
Fuck the analogy.
Yeah, I don't know if it proves out.
Okay.
I like the idea. If there were more Wicked Sisters, maybe. Jessica goes on to almost express a feeling, but Kyle interrupts her. He says, hey, it was nothing. I mean, that's what I'm here for. And besides, it felt good to beat up your dad.
It does feel good to beat up your dad. Any dad.
I've never really competed with my dad at anything.
Really?
I mean, like, NFL quarterback club 94?
Never played one-on-one with your dad?
Basketball?
Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
Hmm.
We've played horse. I played horse with my dad. I would lose consistently.
I would play one-on-one with my dad for like 5 minutes and he'd be
He's
tired.
like fucking 2 feet taller than you then, right?
Yeah, I play one-on-one with my kids and I'm like, I don't allow myself to swat their shots and I don't like use my weight to my advantage. But
you still like pick them up and throw them across the court, right?
No, I get my ass kicked.
Well, once again,
my kids
Chris
are way better at basketball than I was in 3rd grade. Way better.
I mean, there wasn't organized basketball when we were in 3rd grade.
It's true. Could you ever dribble between your legs?
In 5th grade, once I finally got on the team and we practiced, yeah.
Okay, well, my kids can dribble between their legs. They're fucking 9.
Cool.
Stop it.
Stop doing this.
You keep doing it.
I was 9 when 5th grade started. That checks out.
You were 9 when 5th grade started?
Yeah.
My kids are 9. They're in 3rd grade.
These things happen. Jessica, oh wait.
They're not dumb. It's a birthday thing.
Yeah, I was I was like the youngest kid in my class. But Jessica is so happy. When you saw I was in danger, you broke out of the stone and saved me. Your feelings for me were what broke the spell. This seems to have just occurred to Kyle, who responds with, yeah. Null wakes our shit back up. What are you two doing? We still have to find our way out of this forest. Jessica and Kyle leave their love unresolved, and both agree we have to go get out of here. Back to the world map.
In my case, I went back and fought some chrono-gorgons.
Need extra experience, Chris?
Yeah.
You got that auto battle, right?
Been rushing through
Blaze through it.
The other thing, too, I should mention, too, is the auto battle seems to be a lot better.
Tip top?
In the remaster. It seems like it makes smarter choices instead of just nuking everything.
Did you use it much in the original?
Not much. Just only when I was becoming extremely lazy or just was like near a statue or something. So I would say that we should give the autopilot a raise.
Transformers 1986?
Yes, thank you. Anything else, Eric?
Great music in that scene. No, that's all, Chris.
You want to autopilot to the RealNet?
I think so.
Initializing RealNet.
Hello,
RealNet. Nice to see you once again. Let's talk about your comments. They better be good, or I'm not going to read them. Yeah, good point. Poor Porks makes about brain lickers, as they kind of look like intellect devourers, which are also a D&D creature. I know that.
Intellect devourer?
Yeah, they're little brains with legs and shit.
Yeah, brain licker definitely sounds like a play on intellect devourer.
Yes.
Which is a much cooler name.
They're also brain looking.
Also, I mean, I think someone licking your brain isn't inherently harmful, but somebody devouring your intellect sounds unrecoverable.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. John Doe says, what the hell would the NPCs in this town even talk about if you took out the incest? That's a really good point.
Fishing. There's a carpenter they talk about a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
Skilled tradesman.
Andy Hoof says, my mom is from Kentucky, so it's okay for me to assume y'all are just like the characters in Justified. You can do that, but we're both Walton Goggins.
I haven't seen Justified. I'm aware it's bad of me to do that. I love Oliphant. I love Goggins.
Yeah,
I like parts of Kentucky. I don't know.
I think the show was shot in L.A.
Like all shows. L.A. or Vancouver. Pick one.
Yeah.
It's the entire world.
Just make a holler. It's fine. Down in the holler. Down in the holler. That's why am I saying that? Oh, it's a Tyler Childers line.
What's a holler, by the way? Do you know the definition for a holler? Like in my head, a holler is a cave underneath a waterfall. Is that true?
No, a holler is like I don't know if this is the exact definition of it, but the holler is an area like off a main road that goes like up into a mountain where a bunch of people live. Like if you took this little fucking area that I live in and put it up on the side of a mountain and it made everybody's houses tiny.
That's a holler?
That's a holler.
A mountainside, so okay.
Yes. I think that's what the definition of it is.
All right.
But don't ask me.
It's fascinating.
Yeah. Don't ask me. I'm a city boy. Eric Verdon says, Hicks are dumb, the city.
Isn't it funny?
Should that whole town have been a scrotal?
We'll be back.
Let's revisit it when we get back there. Let's not forget to do that.
We'll be back several times, Chris. Don't you worry.
I mean, the diarrhea song got one, so at least
diarrhea.
Yes. Yeah, Pork says, I'm 39, I grew up in Arizona, we knew this song. So it's everywhere.
I feel like if I had thought about it more intensely, I could have picked a career path that studied shit like that. Like etymological spreading of pre-internet culture across the United States.
There's probably somebody that does that.
There's a lot of people that do that. I fucked up. I could have been one of them.
You could have. Now you're stuck in Meryod the rest of your life.
Yeah. Could be worse.
Eric Verdon says, Null talks a lot of shit for somebody who never does anything.
He's building up to a moment.
Oh, I can't wait till Null has a moment. Or the remaster, Null's voice, not pitched up quite as much. Just sounds like a kid.
Is it kid or 4'8" woman?
Probably a 4'8" woman playing a kid. Ephemeral Eternity says, I imagine Kansai dialogue to be more like a simplified version of Japanese, similar to California surfer slang for the USA.
Kansai dialogues often localized as Hicks, right?
Yeah. Like what they do with Goku is they have him in the subtitles. He's just like uses a lot of informal language, like ain't a lot. They don't go all out. I don't know if Goku actually has a Kansai accent, but I know he does like speak a simplified version of. He speaks like that. Rob O says Al Bundy would have been happier if he wasn't a shoe salesman. Andy Hoof says Married with Children is one of those shows that try to be a parody, but found out a lot of people straight up agreed with it.
Put Fox on the map before Simpsons.
John Doe says I feel like White is All Right is without a question a white power rally cry from the 90s.
Like, I would give White is All Right a 90% chance of being that. I think there's a 10% chance it just rhymed and it was fucking 9 p.m. and we got to go home in 5 minutes.
Yeah, I feel like I could be as charitable as possible towards Victor towards that one.
Yeah.
It would be still really hard to get
it's difficult
to get there. Not that Victor Island is a neo-Nazi. He's probably just making a joke.
Yeah.
But it's a bad joke.
Yeah, it's a bad joke.
That didn't last. I'll have to check that in the remaster to see if they kept that. I doubt it, but... Victor Man says, Galleon, no Magic Emperor, yes. Line feels like when they added random joke lines in dubbed anime when you couldn't see the characters' mouths.
I really think the Straw Hat Man and Meryod calling Galleon Gallon is funnier than anything else in that city.
Okay, RealNet, thank you for joining us on this podcast. Once again, we'll see you on the next episode of Retrograde Amnesia. This episode's a production of Retrograde Amnesia, recorded on April 28th, 2025. Thank you, Mark
Shepard.
for the intro music.
How come Eric never says thanks?
Find us on Bluesky and or Twitter at Retrograde Amnesia. If you like us, well, you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/retroam and get ad-free early access episodes, bonus episodes, mini-series, live streams, and more. Until next time, Eric.
The only blue life that matters is Sonic.
Have a big dream. All right, everybody. We'll see you soon. I think we're give me 1 second to get my. So, are we going to the
Meryod Woods, of
Meryod
course,
Woods?
Chris.
Okay, let me get my shit straight here.
My turds never come out straight. They're always kind of curved at the end.
You threw me a curveball when you went to Illick. So I got to redo my shit. But that's okay because I'm organized. Got everything in a folder. I got my playlist organized.
Look at my little guy. He loves organizing data, just like me. What is a podcast if not organizing data? I'm talking about it.
About organizing thoughts and prayers. We're going to go there, and then we're going to put our OBS window over here. And hey, look at that. We're almost ready to go.
You had a good Bob Ross going on right now, Chris. A real soothing.
Thank you. Just let me, I had to switch to, the problem was switching it more so has to do with switching from the 16:9 footage to the 4:3 footage.
Stretch it out like goatsy.
We don't stretch out our 4x3 games here on this podcast, Eric. Let me get to Meryod Woods.
I think that should be a capital punishment offense when people do that, but enjoy games however you want, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
I see so many videos looking into stuff on YouTube, and it's just 4x3 stretched out with a guy reading the Wikipedia page for a game, and I'm like, what are we doing as a society? This is fucked up. People can't learn from this. People are learning from this. The children are learning the history wrong.
What was I saying?
I don't know. There's battle music playing. Brain liquor. On Sega CD,
Also, you do the other ones because this is going to fucking take a lot out of me. Or you don't have it with you. I didn't what? Then I win this play.
yeah.
En route to acquire Jessica. I mean,
does he look like Ramus's nemesis but with no glasses?
Maybe. Green hair. I don't remember. I thought Ramus's nemesis was an old guy.
Well, he had green hair. I don't know.
I don't remember. Jessica says, do you have anything? Or let me finish this first.
I don't know if it's him or not.
Okay.
Fuck, yeah.
Check this out.
Do we have to, like, how many is that?
Hang on, I gotta do that again. Are you inside now when reoccur? You want to do the bar before this?
Well, you didn't do any of the houses before?
I didn't do the houses until I got the whole party back.
Holy smokes. Okay. Well, the bar, oh man.
I spoke with the Brett he says the same thing as you just read. Woo been sangin'. I think everyone's pretty much the same. The girls, did you say something about Zenobia a minute ago?
Yeah.
Okay, so we got that too. Well, one of the other things that she says that I missed in my first, let me just When the two sides of our family and when... Nope, and please bear with me for one moment while I have a big dream and change my video out back to the other one because I'm now in the remaster. Oops. Or maybe it's this one. That one looks better. There we go. Sorry, RealNet, for all of the jankiness in the stream right now, but we're working through some problems. We're working through a revolution here, the revolution of 16:9 video games. All right. Have a Big Dream is now our hold music.
What's hold music?
To get rid of the dead air when I was doing it, I played Have a Big Dream for the RealNet.
Oh, I could have just talked about like green beans.
I just wanted you to have fresh your vocal cords.
Yeah.
You didn't say anything about karaoke, right?
No.
Okay, good. I want to make sure I didn't miss something that you said.
Okay. Jessica and Niall.
Sorry.
The holler is fuck.
I left my video running over here. It's not on the RealNet right now. I left the video running and I just saw Nash's ass.
Oh, good.
Because it kept going to
Is
the
that
screen.
a holler?
No.
Would you holler at that ass?
As you can see, this is a PlayStation Black Disc. Cut number 1 contains computer data, so please don't play it. But you probably won't listen to me anyway, will you?
Did we?
I, for example, can blast piss for 35 feet, but that kind of pisser is not considered wicked, and if it's on a person, it could be a felony.
Holy shit. Yeah, I went to the houses, the bar, all this shit.
Most of it's probably the same except for the interactions that the characters have with the NPCs when you're separated.
Oh, man. No, it's. I have notes from before and after, and it's all very different.
Fuck!
Yeah.
Okay, pick some. Or do them all. I don't give a shit.
But I wish I knew before that you didn't do that. Armor shop. Tell you what, I'll take it on good faith that you have everything from after, and I'll just compare it with before, because people are in all the same places. It'll be organizationally, it'll be better this way if we just time travel.
Okay. I think there's one house that I didn't get until we come back here later. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Get it? Haha.
Yep.
All I got is I think this is a...
Did you talk to the singer in here after that?
Is she the one that sings badly?
Yes.
I think I didn't speak with her again until the remaster, so we can play her remaster song. Do you want to speak with her? Go ahead.
Is it different than the song I already captured? The remaster song?
Different voice actors.
Oh.
Yeah. Well. You went in with Plaster Mel?
Yeah, let's do that.
Didn't work for you?
It did.
Didn't work for you?
It did. It's good. I like it. I think about them every day. I'm acquiring the action figures.
I can cut it if it didn't work for you.
No, I'd say it was great. We should get autopilot or yeah.
Okay. I think the
I don't know if you've ever watched the 1UP show back in the day, but one of the people at 1UP, Shane, was from Kentucky, and they always gave him shit about that.
Mm-hmm.
And his little Big Planet level, they made him call Cooter's Holler.
Cooter's Holler.
I've remembered that.
Yeah, I feel like it is.